Hello there everyone and welcome to Mistletoe Wreath Layering Guide video. So first up I have stamped the image from the Mistletoe Wreath stamp set. I just stamped this onto some white cardstock using some obsidian ink. I have also embossed the piece of white cardstock using the Mistletoe Wreath 3D embossing folder. So we're going to be able to use the stencil on both of these. So I have the first stencil from the stencil set and I'm just going to pop that into place, and this will cover half of the berries that you can see on the image. I will be using coral berry for these first lot of berries. You can use the same colour for both the lots of berries if you wanted to, but I'm going to go with two so you can see the different kind of berries on each of the parts of the stencil. So that was the coral berry on there. I'm then going to shift that stencil over and I'm going to pop it into the same place onto the embossed image. Now the embossed image is the same as the stamped image, so you're going to be able to use the stencil for both of these images, which is really cool. So I'm just going to go through again with that coral berry ink through onto the berries on the embossed image as well. Once that's done, I can shift that stencil over and this is going to fill in the rest of the berries that we have on the image. So for these berries here, I will be using some of the ruby red ink. I am using a mini blending tool for this, but you could use a larger blending tool if you so wished, if you find that that works best for you. So once I have finished this stamped image, I'm then just going to move that one over again into the same place on the embossed image that we have over on the left hand side. Again, I'm going to use the same ink as before, so I'm using the ruby red ink to add in the rest of the berries to this beautiful embossed design. Once that's done, I can remove that stencil and then I'm then going to go ahead onto the second stencil. I'm going to start with the branch part on this stencil. This is in the top left hand corner. I'm going to pop that into place onto the branch that we have on the image, and I'm going to go through with a detail blending tool this time, and I'm just using some espresso inks. This is a really dark brown color. You could use a lighter brown color or even a dark green. That would look really cool as well. Once that has been done on the stamped image, I'm going to move that into exactly the same place on to the embossed image that we have on this side here. I'm going to use the same ink as before, so I am using that espresso, but don't think that you do need to use brown colors. Some really dark greens would look fabulous as well. I am using a small blending tool so I can really push the ink through the really detailed part of this stencil. Once that's done, I can then move this stencil over, and this is going to pop in the first kind of third of the leaves. So we do have three different ink colors, so this is the one that I'm going to go for first. So for this first layer of leaves that we have, I am going to go in with the grass field ink. I am using a mini blending tool for this, but like I said before, you could use a larger one if you do find that that works best for you. So once I have all of those leaves colored on that part of the stencil, I can then move this same stencil over onto the embossed image. And again, this is just going to line up like it did before over one third of the leaves that we have on the image. And for this one, I'm going to use the same ink as before. So I am using that grass field ink just to add in the color through the stencil. Once that has been done, I can remove that stencil and I can move on to stencil number 3. This is going to add in another third of those leaves that we have there. And for this layer here, I will be using the Shadow Creek ink. As this is kind of a full stencil just for this image here, you could definitely use a really large blending tool and get the blending done really quite easily and quickly, because it's not going to go over the mask in any way, shape or form. So once that has been done on the stamped image, we can move that over to the embossed one, again in exactly the same place as before. And this is going to color in some of those other leaves that you can see. And this is in fact just going over the kind of embossed image that we have there and adding color to that. It's very pretty and it gives a really kind of soft look to that one. So once that has been done, we can then move on to the fourth and final stencil in this set. And this is just going to fill in the rest of the leaves that we have. So for these leaves here, I will be using my darkest color, and that is going to be the mountain pine. Again, I'm using a small blending tool, but you could use a larger one to kind of quicken up this process of blending. Once I have finished the stamped image, I'm just going to move this stencil over onto the emboss one, into place onto the rest of the leaves that have not been embossed or colored yet, sorry. So again, I'm using that same color, which is the mountain pine ink, and a small blending tool just to add the ink through the stencil and onto the embossed image. Once that's complete, I can remove the stencil, and that is all of the layering complete. We really do hope this video helps. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you again really, really soon. Bye bye.